What is up, everybody? Turboversity here today, and we have to talk about these Xbox haters on social media. Now, this post is absolutely ridiculous, so much so that when this person made this post, they had just been roasted in the comment section for this entire thread. It is just extremely hilarious. But the fact that he says the Xbox is just subpar. Let me read that. I didn't read the post in its entirety, but that Xbox being a subpar product is just kind of very telling right there. Like really. It's pretty much up there with the PS5. They pretty much got the same library of games, only a few differences of the exclusive games, but it's just the fact that he says it's subpar. But let's read the entire post in its entirety. He says, I think people need to accept the fact that Xbox is a subpar product. It's been over 20 years since its inception, and it's never came close to winning a generation. This guy must have amnesia because that 360 generation was something else, but let's continue. Xbox is as bland as subpar. It's just as simple, and it's never had worldwide appeal, and it never will. Oh boy. So you want to know what else has worldwide appeal? McDonald's has worldwide appeal. And if you want to get a good burger, my number one thought is not to go to McDonald's. McDonald's is only there for convenience. If you want something that's cheap, that's where you go to McDonald's. But if you want something that's quality, you want a quality burger, you don't go to McDonald's. So this whole worldwide appeal doesn't mean anything. It's just like you can say Sony is the McDonald's of gaming at this point because not everybody agrees that Sony is the best. Some people think McDonald's is the best. Good for you, but not everybody else thinks that. But let's dissect this post right here. Xbox is just a subpar product. While Xbox is just delivering games, great games after great games in the Game Pass service, whether you can play third-party games, major third-party games, Xbox is clear from subpar. But when you at Xbox here and you think about Xbox consistently, you post nonsense like this. It's been over 20 years since its inception, has never came close to winning a generation. For one, I don't really know what me as a consumer gets from these consoles winning the generation. Like, at the end of the day, what does them winning the generation, what does that do for me as a consumer? Like, you can say PS2 won the generation. Sure, PS2 was very dominant, but PS3 was very trash. They got too cocky, and their next console was trash. You can say that the next generation after that, the Wii won that generation. But let's be honest, most people bought the Wii with super casuals, like people's grandmothers and aunties. And that for hardcore gamers like myself, the Wii didn't really touch me at all. It's like I didn't feel like playing Wii Sports. It was just the biggest game for that console. I didn't care about waggling the controller around, so I don't care. And that console won that generation. So there you go for winning the generation. It does nothing for the average gamer if these consoles win the generation because they either get too cocky or there's some casual bull crap that nobody cares about. And let's look even at the after the Wii. We had the Switch, which is currently like in between the PS4 and now like PS5, Xbox Series, Xbox One generation is like a weird in between where it's currently dominating the market right now. And as what you as a consumer for this console when they're dominating the market, you get a handheld console, which some of these games barely run at 60 frames per second and their performance is awful. So I'm not really seeing the benefit of me as a consumer for these consoles winning the generation, as this guy says likes to claim about PlayStation. So. And as his last point, Xbox is a brand subpar. It's just that simple and it's never had worldwide appeal and never will. Well, if it doesn't have that much appeal, why do they constantly talk about Xbox on a consistent basis? If Xbox is so trash and so subpar as they say, why is it always on their minds? Like you can look at my comment section when I first post a video. It could be 5 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the evening. Sony fanboys would be the first ones in my comment section saying Xbox sucks. Stop talking about PlayStation, Xbox, something to that extent about 3% Xbox sucks. But if it sucks so much, why are you watching my channel and why are you the first ones always when I upload a video? That's just bizarre. Like they're just so obsessed with Xbox and they suppose they hate Xbox so much. They got this weird obsession with Xbox. So yeah, I just don't agree with this post whatsoever. But let's see what other people have to say about this guy's post. I have a PS5 and an Xbox. I play it most of the time on the subpar product, which is an Xbox, and that's what the other guy was claiming. I think that some people must accept that if they have some kind of inferiority complex and try to compensate with my console is bigger than yours. Normal people don't care about this. Yeah, the average person doesn't care really. Like the average person is probably who has a PS5 is probably playing Fortnite, Call of Duty, or FIFA, the most casual games ever that's gonna be played on multiple platforms. But people like to brag about these console sales when the average person doesn't care about these exclusives at all. AKA what Steve Jobs said. They like soul and they like innovation. Meanwhile, Sony copies Xbox consistently, but okay. I think you need to accept the fact that you can't stop thinking or talking about it, so it can't be too bad, right? Somebody else points it out. Like, if it's so bad, why do Xbox haters and Sony fanboys keep talking about Xbox then if it's so bad? It can't be that subpar considering y'all tweet about Xbox every day, and they literally do. They hate Xbox so much, but they tweet about it every freaking day. It's just weird. I feel like it won the 360/PS3 era, at least in the hearts and homes of gamers. Yeah, if we being honest, during that 360 PS3 Wii era, the average person who's like a hardcore gamer probably had a 360 in the generation. Like PlayStation, I don't care about the PS3 at all during that generation. They had a few games here and there, like The Last of Us. Probably missing a few other key games, but I'll definitely love the Infamous series as well. But definitely missing a few other key games. But 360 generation was by far the better generation, the better console of that generation. But if we're going by sales, I think the PS3 outdid the 360 at the long haul because the PS3 stayed on the market a little bit longer. So technically, the 360 was last. But if we were back during that generation, most people say the 360 was the best console of that generation. But if you're gonna go about sales, sure, the Wii, which most hardcore gamers didn't care about the Wii at all. So Xbox had its heyday around 2004, or launch of Halo 2, and the original Xbox generation. When they had games like Halo and Halo 2, those were monumental. So it's just so dumb. Like this, when you just look at this post, it's so dumb. Like really, Xbox is just a subpar product. When out there, throughout their entire history of being on the market, at 20 years, he talks about, they have been releasing bangers, amazing, classic, great gaming experiences every generation. The only worst part of Xbox was Xbox One generation, and even then I still preferred it over PS4. So let's see. I bought a Series X, seeing some of the exclusives that were advertised, and I just haven't been that interested in playing it since. The exclusives never been materialized in a meaningful way, and I think Sony and Nintendo ever old-fashioned know their audience well. Okay, I disagree. I think both consoles are good, and some things one would do better than the other in certain aspects. Example, Xbox Quick Resume is superior to PlayStation. Yeah, PlayStation still doesn't have that, which they really need to copy that Quick Resume feature in the next iteration of PlayStation. Whether it be a Pro or a PS6, they definitely need to copy that Quick Resume feature. That's why they should acquire another big publisher. So not a monopoly then. Yeah, you can't be saying... That's another thing too. If Xbox is so trash, you can't be calling a monopoly then either at the same time. So that defeats that narrative too. People just don't like change and will blindly attack over the preferred thing. Xbox is definitely not subpar. Anybody who uses Xbox is going to think it's not subpar. There's only people who don't use Xbox say this nonsense. They're so obsessed with Sony. Obsessed with Sony and hating on Xbox. They just say this nonsense. I used to have PlayStation before the original Xbox and a few between. Just wasn't a fan of the device or the consumer treatment. Xbox has been nice. Okay. Rent-free? Xbox definitely lives in their minds rent-free. I mean, I'm a PlayStation guy for life, but to say they never had any appeal is kind of a stretch, bro. Loser with no life, lol. Yeah, you see it clearer these days. Ain't no point in beating a dead horse. Xbox just sucks. It is what it is. It's just a placeholder at this point. Being a placeholder. Meanwhile, that's PlayStation. That PS5 is in a drought for first-party content right now. It is drier than the Sahara Desert on that PS5 content. Sure, you got the fans bigging up a DLC that just released, but other than that, you're waiting a long time to get actual first-party content with Spider-Man 2 in September, so, But he wants to talk about Xbox being a placeholder. Where is the lie? The whole post was full of lies, but okay. It won the 360/PS3 generation. Never came close. They brought the PS3 to its knees, totally crushed them that gen. Basically took PlayStation from 155 million to 86 million. That's not a win for PlayStation anyway. They lost a huge chunk. Xbox went from 20 million to 84 million, maybe more since they stopped counting. Why exactly should someone care about who is winning the generation? I don't know. I don't know why we should care this much, but apparently it's something if these consoles sell a lot. Like, we don't get anything from it, but okay. Other than the company just being super cocky with their next console generation. Love playing on my subpar console. Xbox lets me have all my 360 to now downloaded content for all my PS3 downloaded content that I can't even get. Yeah. the Xbox definitely handled backwards compatibility a little bit better than PlayStation. I was like, with PlayStation, you got to stream your PS3 games. With Xbox, you could just download the Xbox 360 games and they look better and play better. So, well, this is factually wrong. Agree, but I have a PlayStation. Anything else, pretty much, as a fan, is just trash. Oh man. The Xbox is struggling, no doubt. Is it really struggling though? I don't think it's struggling right now. The last thing you should want is to go away. Every market leader needs competition, especially one with higher technology. Nintendo isn't even trying to compete with PlayStation. They really aren't. And it obviously shows when their biggest games like Pokemon, the newest Pokemon games, barely even, you gotta pray that the game works properly. Like, you could tell they aren't trying because their fan base is gonna buy their games regardless. So. Nintendo's future is expanding their source of income beyond games and consoles with theme parks and movies. Xbox future is expanding Game Pass, xCloud, and mobile until it no longer depends on third parties. We know why. PlayStation future, gamble everything on PlayStation Store and multiplayer. Okay. Everyone is entitled to be stupid, but you abuse the privilege. Jeez. You know, Xbox fans would never admit to something like that. Admit to what? That this guy says that Xbox is subpar when it's not. It's like Xbox is releasing more first party this year than Sony is, but people forget to mention that. They just hate on Xbox so much, they don't realize that Xbox is releasing more first party this year. So much hate, just bizarre. It's time to accept the fact that for 20 years, Microsoft treated Xbox as a little side project. What is this stupid nonsense? Oh my. What is this? Xbox has been treated like a side project, according to this guy. Okay. 20 years of you crying, and the brand is still there, and its fans are getting bigger. Yeah, the fan base for Xbox is only getting larger and larger. So, don't care. I'm not profiting off anyone's sales. At the end of the day, I'm not making an extra sale. Microsoft sells more. They sell less, so I don't really care. What do I gain if they lose or win a generation? Like, as long as they give me great deals, especially with Game Pass, I'm content right there. So I don't know what they're talking about. They're only around to stop Sony from completely taking over. It is deeper than that. Xbox is the cancer of gaming and an enemy to gamers. What? What is wrong with these guys? Hey, but guess what? They'll win at the end because people refuse to truly speak up. You're doing half the job now, but we need people to say the real truth about Xbox and for people to not purchase them. Oh man, these guys are weird. Xbox is just a cancer of gaming now. How is, like, whatever. They almost did it during 360 generation. You probably don't remember because you were a sperm back then. Okay. It's funny how these opinions never come from people whose opinions actually matter. It's always from subpar humans with subpar intelligence. I'm starting to believe that Xbox was never good. We were fooled by the 360. Third party carried Xbox this whole time. What carried Sony? Like, most of their generations is third party, especially the PS2 generation. PS2 was carried by a third party most of their generation. Like, okay. Never came close. 360 was kicking PS3's ass for the longest. Yeah, like, you could tell somebody was like clearly just they checked out on the PS3 and 360 generation because 360 was definitely destroying PS3 for a long time, that generation. Facts, bro. Too hard for imbecile Xbox to digest, though. Okay. Oh, man. This is an interesting thread right here. I wonder why so many people call the 7th generation the 360 era gen then. Cold hard truth. Of course, a Sony fanboy agrees with it. And his whole name is shaped around Xbox. Once again, this obsession is just weird with Xbox. Xbox Mad Hi-Fi, and then he has his actual name right there. This guy hates Xbox, but he's obsessed with it. He has Xbox in his username now. It's just weird. But I'm gonna include it right here. The obsession with Xbox just never ends, it seems like. Apparently this guy says Xbox is so subpar, but can't stop thinking and tweeting about it. It's just interesting. So I'm going to include it right here. Xbox lives in these guys' heads rent-free, obviously. Once again, they're super butthurt that their precious PlayStation has competition. It's just so sad. But I'm going to include it right here. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you like this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and peace.